This chapter this week was fucking amazing. Let's just jump right into it, boys. So, this chapter starts off with last chapter's kind of cliffhanger ending, is the way I would describe it, with Kaname and Koshiro looking at the business card like, this thing. As Koshiro is like, Prime members, it reminds me of the dude, the cutie bot dude. I almost forgot his name again, but it came to me that last second. And they're just like, yeah, it's just like, that's kind of clicking now. As the panels at the bottom are going to a different scene, we see I would describe as like a baseball cleaner. Like, I'm not really heavy into sports, and especially not baseball, but it looks like a dude's cleaning off a field. It's one of the guys that probably like shoves dirt off the plates. And he comes in contact with the zipper, and we see, I don't know, we don't have a name for this guy yet, so I'm just gonna call him Robot Knight, holding Sheena, saying zip down, and all of a sudden we just see the zipper that was on the field, well, I'm presuming it's a field, just come closer to the school building and just rips up the building, or like zipper up, zips down? I would describe it as zipping down, yeah, zipping down the building. And the first thought that comes to mind to this is, how did the Robot Knight get Sheena? Because if my memory holds correctly, all that she did last chapter was have a small conversation with Koshiro about, not Koshiro, Kaname, about Koshiro being a bag. So what happened in that time frame of about maybe a couple hours? Apparently some wild shit, so I guess. So the next couple panels, or basically the next page, is we see the building just kind of transform. It just gains all these, like, I would describe them as hands in the best way possible. And like Kaname is like, what the and just like he bolts. But key note here, the girl from last chapter, I forget, her name starts with an M. Madare? Something like that. Something with an M. I basically forget. She was a very forgettable character. All I remember is she was shy, basically, and they're just seeing the building kind of just like erupt open with hands, basically. It's actually a pretty cool shot now looking at it, because the one baseball cleaner is just like, huh? I really do like the shot. It kind of like puts emphasis on the whole, like, yo, the building's transforming. This is kind of a major event right now. And the next shot or panel we get is basically the cover art for this chapter, and it's really, really pretty. It's just basically the building's kind of transformed into what I can describe as not a really mechanical dragon, but like a fortress dragon school hybrid is what the best way I could explain it. So the next shot we get is Robot Knight holding a picture saying, the building that I drew, or the thing that came up from the building after the zip down effect, I would guess I'm going to call it effect. He says, wow, I drew it and it came out perfectly as I drew it. So this could it be relating to his powers? Maybe, but there's also some like contradictory statements that probably like disprove that. But he's just like, yeah, this is way cooler than a giant fucking robot. This building's way cooler. As like, I would presume the student body of the school that was inside is now in this fortress, and he kind of greets himself towards everybody, as he says, with a bunch of heroes. Well, he describes them as heroes, but let's be honest, they're all villains. As we see a robot chick, a chick that looks like a Digimon, and Godzilla. Or maybe like actually, I'm gonna take that back. It doesn't look like Godzilla. It looks like a mech Godzilla, kind of. Yeah. And so he's basically just introducing himself to the student body with a whole bunch of his lackeys and goons. Which I do find that certain panel really, really, like, eye candy, as best I can describe it. Like, it's really pretty. I like it. I like this art in this series. It's really good. So the next shot we get is the fortress, what is now deemed, and it finally gets a name, how many pages in? 9 pages in, is called the Dragungarde. I had to Google it because I thought I was pronouncing it wrong. And, Robot Knight is just kind of presenting himself as people are trying to run away, and he just pulls out this badass sword. Dude, it looks dope. It's a really cool sword. And he just says, Hero Magic Thunder, and he just, like, basically it's like a Bankai from, like, Bleach, like Ichigo's Bankai. I forgot what's it called. Oh, I forgot. Oh no, my anime is not coming to me fast enough for this video. Gets a Tensho, there we go. Took me a bit, but like, yeah, he's like, you guys are either gonna participate in what I'm doing, or you can just die. So basically, his hero statement before is completely wrong. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Okay, it just came to me. He's saying hero as in like, I'm gonna play hero while you're like the bystanders. That makes more sense. Big brain moment here on the channel, boys. So after seeing this display of power from Robot Knight, the student body just kind of like is like, all right, we're just gonna let this guy do his thing and wait till the police show up, because they can't do anything. This guy is throwing out gets a Gatenchos like this. It's nothing. So yeah, they're just like, all right, we're just gonna stay chill. We're not gonna do anything. And so they just kind of proceed to go on and listen to it. So eventually the cops do show up to the giant dragungarde fortress, and they try to, you know, blow a hole through the front gate. I'm assuming it's a front gate. Kind of just looks like two big doors, but gate, door, you know, same thing, right? Same difference. And they try to go through, but it's not working. And they're kind of complaining, like, first it's a giant robot, then a giant cutie pop chick thingy robot person, and then now a giant dragon fortress. And as they're complaining and trying to get through it, Dragon Knights are like, well, normal conventional human means of grenades and explosives aren't going to pass through, and so the fortress's defenses kick in, and we get this nice panel of these giant robots just kind of wrecking the police. I'm gonna be totally honest, these like robot guards have some pretty badass designs on them. I like them. They look pretty dope. I'd buy that. So Robot Knight is basically showing the student body on like this giant ass like screen, like how these robots are just tearing through the police, and he's all like, "Yep, no one's gonna get through the Dragon Guard. It's like invincible and indestructible." And he kind of like explains to the student body again, like, you're gonna play in my role play. You're gonna stick to my script, and if you don't, I'll just kill you. It's either his way or the highway, baby. And so there's this little tiny panel, and he says, "I think that's about it. Let's have fun and create a hero's world." And it's kind of a scary scene, because basically Robot Knight's face just kind of becomes like this robot human, I would describe it as, because like his mouth guard just kind of disappears and he's just all like roar. It's like, it's scary. But then the next shot we get is Koshiro and Kaname saying "zip up," and they just kind of bust through the door, because, you know, they're not rockets or missiles. They're Zipman, and we get this gorgeous panel shot of just Kaname, or no, I'm gonna say their full name, of Zipman busting through the robots and just kind of showing up in that classic hero pose, like from a Marvel movie. And everybody's like, oh my god, and he's like, all right, I'm about to kick some ass. And so, you know, Robot Knight's like, all right, so I'm gonna go deal with them. And it's the Digimon chick is the best way I would describe it, and she's about to go beat him up, and, you know, Zipman's all like, I got this. Great way to end off the chapter. Fucking phenomenal. I fucking loved this chapter. No other way to explain it. It looked nice. The pacing was good. The overall character designs of other villains looked cool. And, you know, the power system, I would describe it as, was being shown pretty well. And the abilities it can do. Zipman had a fucking awesome panel show up page. It was overall great. I loved it. I'm gonna give this a solid 9 out of 10. That's basically what I can give to it. I really, really liked it. And, you know, it's just on the side note of this video, this chapter review, Robot Knight's kind of cool. I don't know what his power is yet. I kind of said in the beginning, oh, he just kind of maybe has a knight aesthetic to him, or maybe he has the ability to draw things and they just kind of happen, like very similar to like a D&D kind of situation where like you can make up your own fantasy world and it'll just show up. But I don't think that's the case. I think maybe he's just supposed to be like playing a knight, and maybe the chairman has the ability to produce things for them. And also another thing to note that I forgot to kind of explain early in the video is that there seems to be, okay, no, how do I phrase this? I'm gonna phrase it correctly. It seems to be the people that we saw in this chapter, you know, the side villains and, you know, Robot Knight, seem to be low ranking members, because they're like, yeah, we'll be part of the superior guard of the chairman. So yeah, that's a key note there, because, you know, they look really cool and badass and intimidating, but they're not high members yet, which is kind of cool, because I'm like, this is getting interesting. Like, the cool people aren't high members yet, so the cooler people are gonna be even badass. So I'm just kind of hyped. I'm really looking forward to next week's chapter overall. So that's the end of the video. Stay hydrated. Follow me on Twitter. See you in the next one, ladies and gentlemen. Zipman is goated, dude.